Hi and welcome to another Type with Me free video. Today I want to talk about forcewire. It's a web transport framework that can make your life easier to use web transport, create streams and datagrams and put it over the wire, auto reconnect, and type safe by design end-to-end typings. We have a WebSocket fallback which works everywhere. So forcewire packages, well, we have two. One is forcewire protocol. It's the messaging layer. Message envelopes, strong typed messages structured, codecs, and stream framing. Then we have the forcewire web transport. It's the transport layer, and it has a web transport client. It has streams, it has datagrams, and it has an auto reconnect feature. So how does it work? Well, we have an application and it sends typed messages. Then we have the protocol which encodes and frames the messages. Then we have a transport and it sends packages over web transport via quick HTTP3. It's fast, it's reliable, and low latency. So we have some demo applications, and one of them here is the browser client, and here you see client equals new forcewire web transport. We have our URL, we have our reconnect, we have our server certificate hashes, which is important, and we fetch our certificate hashes from and custom web transport. And here we have our client on state change when we are connected. And here we have our client.onMessage, where we listen to every messages that we can get, of course. And here we have our own datagram message, and then we have certain listeners that we go through. So quite easy, right? And then of course, one of the things we also have is our Dino server, and here you see we have our web transport session manager server, and when we have our server.onConnect, we make connection to the server. Here we have our session.onMessage, so when we get a message, well, then we can do something with that message and we can send it back and broadcast it to everyone. We have here also a session.replay possibility, right? And session.on datagram messages. Of course, when we close our server, we have here session.on disconnect, and then we stop our session, right? Then we have some endpoints, and of course here incoming of listeners. Then here we can then do this, await Dino, and then upgrade web transport connection, and then we upgrade our web transport connection with the connection that we have right here. Of course, this is very Dino-like, and we want to have the possibility that our framework works within Dino, Node.js, Bun, all these runtimes, right? So if we go to the demo page here, you can see that we have here port where we can listen through. We have here the possibility to have simulated echo in browser, or we can go to the native one. If I here click on connect, you'll see here it's been connected, and here you see that we have a styled web transport connection, right? Then here we can go down. You see here that the datagrams are coming in. Here you see the type echo.cursor.position, our JSON, then the payload preview, which is our X and our Y, and then the size, of course, of our datagram, which is great. So if we have a game and we want to have real-time connection streams where a certain person on the map is. We can very easily use that by doing this with datagrams, right? Of course, one of the things that I also can do here is I can send out certain messages, some JSON messages. So here I can do this, right? You see here stream in echo dot chat dot message, and then here stream out chat dot message, and stream raw float 32 embedding factors directly without JSON overhead, something we can do as well. And then here you see an echo of agent embeddings. It's binary buffer. Here in the out we have also binary float 32 array. So that's also something that we can do. It just doesn't need to be JSON. It can also be binary, which kind of very sufficient when you want to do very cool communication to certain clients, right? So I think that's really useful. And I will also add it into the description below, but you'll see here that we have forcewire, and this is the code. It's on GitHub, and here you see some more info about forcewire with the logo that we have created and how you can very easily set things up. So here you see the client. We have a client. We can do client.connect, client.send, client.send datagrams. You can wait for certain things and then do client.onMessage or client.send tensor, where we have high throughput binary tensor streaming for AI. Then here we have our server. We can do session.join, session.onMessage, and session.handle, which is also very great. And this is a little bit of how everything is being constructed. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. I hope you will maybe put a star on it. I will really appreciate it if you think like this is a really cool package and you want to have more work on it. Then please let me know by just starring it right here. So that will mean a lot to me. So thank you very much and see you next time.